I just want to introduce our final guest speaker. When I say the best to last in these contexts here, Stephan Spencer is someone I've known for a long time. He's been a contributor to Marketing Profs. He contributes to a lot of different websites. He's written probably the most authoritative book on search engine optimization called The Art of SEO. Stephan started a company called Net Concepts that was like one of the first search engine optimization agencies. He does a lot of work in a lot of different contexts, which he'll explain for itself. But you know, listening to somebody who has been in this business since 1999, just focusing on SEO, is going to be very educational. Hope you enjoy it. Anyway, let's give a warm welcome to Stephan Spencer.
Hey guys, welcome back from spring break. Who's excited to be back? Okay, yeah, right. Okay, so I'm going to help wake you guys up. How's that sound? I give you lots more energy? Because I think you need more energy. So I just learned this weekend from my fiance. She learned it from Nam Yoga. It's so cool. It'll just take you a few seconds. It's just a quick breathing exercise. It's just like literally take only a few seconds. What you're going to do is I'm going to tell you to breathe in, and then you're going to hold it, and then I'll tell you what to do next. So ready? 3, 2, 1. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Now tap on your chest, just all around. Keep holding it. I love how I'm getting all you guys to do this. Okay. How's that feel? Who feels more energized from that? Isn't that cool? It's not bad. So when you're feeling tired, when you feel like you have to really bring it, you're going to give a presentation, you're going to go to a meeting or something. It's a cool way to just get an extra boost of energy. So I'm Stephan Spencer, and I'm going to talk to you about how to be remarkable with your online marketing so that you can get higher rankings in Google. And a little bit more about me. So yes, I am co-author of this beast of a book, The Art of SEO. It's 1,000 pages. It's 3rd edition. First came out in 2009. This edition is from August, so it's still pretty current. I'm also here, let me pull up my books there. I'm also co-author of this book, Social E-commerce. It's all about how to leverage social media, including Facebook, Instagram, you name it, really. Twitter, Reddit, StumbleUpon, etc., for driving online sales. And then this little book, it's an easy read. This is not about SEO either. This one was not about SEO. This one's not about SEO. This one's all about how to get the most out of Google as a searcher. So let's say that you're looking for confidential business plans or marketing plans of your competitors. You can actually find those online if you know how to search on Google. You could find Forrester research reports. These normally cost thousands of dollars. You can find them for free if you know how to search on Google. And then I also teach a 2-day workshop for the American Marketing Association. Do that a couple times a year as well, and that's really intense. A lot of content. So, yeah.
With that power search, is it because those things are available for free, or you're finding them illegally?
No, they're for free. It's just, so let's say that a company commissioned Forrester Research to do a study and put a report together. Like IBM oftentimes will contact Forrester Research. So there are many reports that are sponsored by a company. And they'll put it on their websites, but they'll make you fill out a form to get it. So if you know how to search Google and restrict the search just to PDF documents and certain things that are only in that Forrester Research type of report, you can find those Forrester reports. I've even found files with credit card numbers and expiration dates in Google. It's crazy what's in Google. There are like trillions of URLs in Google's database, and if you know how to search like a ninja, you can find it. All right, so I started an agency in 1995 called Net Concepts. It was not an SEO agency because SEO didn't really exist back then. It was an interactive agency, web design. And I sold it. I sold it in 2010. So I had my successful exit, but I still love doing SEO. I love internet marketing and making money while I sleep. So I'm still in the space. I'm still doing it. I have clients like Chanel and Zappos, or in the last few years, since I sold my agency, I've worked with Chanel, Zappos, Sony Store, Bed Bath & Beyond, Best Buy Canada, Bloomberg Business Week, CNBC, Sony Store. Yeah. And SEO is not that difficult. Even a child can do it. Case in point, my, at the time, 14-year-old daughter doing SEO. And then she got to get speaking gigs and so forth because she was so successful with it. She had a passion for a site, a particular gaming site called Neopets. Who's heard of Neopets? Yeah. Owned by Nickelodeon, the TV network. It's all about these virtual pets that you could feed and play with and give them toys and things like that. And it was all based on a virtual currency called Neo Points. And she knew all the ins and outs, how to get extra lives on many of the games, how to get extra Neo Points by doing different things in different hidden areas of the site. And so she had this passion for Neopets. And I said, I have some websites that make money just passive income on their own. I don't do anything, they just make money. And she said, wow, I want to do that. And I just kind of pointed her in the right direction. She did all the work. She created a WordPress blog, created a bunch of content, and then she just basically sat back and let the money come in. She made up to $1,100 a month. Not bad for a kid. Yeah. Beats babysitting, flipping burgers at McDonald's. Yeah, passive income. Because there were many months she did nothing. She could have made way more money by applying herself, but teenagers, right? So, if a child can do it, so can you. Now she's 24 years old. Can you believe I have a 24-year-old? Who can believe that? I don't like you. Yeah. Okay. So I have a 24-year-old, a 23-year-old, and a almost 20-year-old. Actually, she's turning 20 today. I'm going to see her after for lunch. Yeah. How is that possible? I started when I was 12. No, I actually didn't. But let me show you something, because this will blow your mind. Back in 2007, so this is a podcast that I host called The Optimized Geek. I am a geek, I admit it, but I was a lot geekier geek back in the day. Check me out in 2007. Holy cow! Can you believe that was me on the left? Yeah, I see jaws open. Yeah, that was me. And then I discovered Tony Robbins, and I really got motivated to completely turn my life around, and I did. So now I have a podcast all about optimizing your life in all different areas, including relationships and biohacking and brain hacking, sex life, your finances, everything. Look at these guys. These are some pretty amazing folks, like David Allen, who wrote Getting Things Done. Phil Town. He's got 2 #1 best-selling books. One's called Payback Time. The other's called Rule Number 1. You guys know what rule number 1 is? Rule number 1 in investing?
Don't lose money.
Don't lose money. That's according to Warren Buffett. So Phil Town teaches Warren Buffett's style of investing. Amazing. And what's rule number 2?
Don't lose money.
Well, close. Don't forget rule number 1. So these are great podcast episodes. I encourage you to subscribe.
And I have to listen to a podcast to tell me not to lose money.
Well, how do you not lose money? That's the thing.
How do you lose money?
Right? Because you put money in the stock market, you treat it like speculating, and that's a really bad idea.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah. So how do you invest in the stock market, and it's going to go down? It's going to go down. How do you not lose money? Well, you find really good deals where the management team is solid, and all this sort of stuff. There's a competitive, durable competitive advantage, blah, blah, blah. He teaches all that on the episode. So that's one of my podcasts. I have another one called Marketing Speak. This one's going to be even more pertinent for you guys because, of course, you're in an internet marketing class, and these are some mind-blowingly good episodes, not just about SEO, but all forms of online marketing. And folks who have really made it, like 7, even 8-figure earners, right? Don't you want to learn from millionaires and decamillionaires, sharing their secrets, their tips and tricks on how to build an empire through Amazon, for example, Amazon FBA? This guy, Shaheen Cheyenne. Anyone heard of him before? He's the guy who, at 16 or 17 years old, invented herbal ecstasy. $300 million a year in revenue while he was still a teenager. Yeah, so I've had him on the Optimized Geek podcast talking about brain hacking, things like modafinil and Accelerol and so forth, and on Marketing Speak talking about Amazon FBA, Fulfillment by Amazon, FBA, where you can, as a merchant, put your stuff on there. You don't even have to like warehouse it or anything. Amazon does it. You source it from China, go on to Alibaba, find some product that you want to sell, have it shipped to the Amazon warehouse and sell it and make money. So that's an example. This guy, Jared Spool, who's heard of Jared Spool? Anyone? One of the top usability experts in the world, right up there with Jacob Nielsen. Been around forever. Super smart guy, talking about all the metrics that are bunk that you're tracking and that you think are important, like time on site, bounce rate, conversion rate even. They're useless metrics. Really great episodes. This guy is a very successful internet marketer who sold his company to eBay. Only one of 15 companies that got acquired by eBay in eBay's entire history. This guy teaching you how to get on TV. So it's not just internet marketing, it's mostly internet marketing, but this is local television marketing. Really clever. I just did his 4-day workshop. It was exhausting, but I just got booked on 8 different TV segments, so you'll be seeing me on TV. Yeah. Yeah. I've done thousands of speaking gigs over the years, but I've only been on TV once. It was in New Zealand when I lived in New Zealand. That's another thing about the internet. You can live anywhere. You can do this internet thing from anywhere in the world. So I got this idea, oh, why not do that? I'll prove the concept. If I could pick anywhere in the world to live, yeah, why not New Zealand? So I applied for residency. I'd never been there. It was 1999. I got in, and I moved my family, my 3 daughters, my stepdaughter, and my wife at the time, and New Zealand for almost 8 years. It was magical. You ever seen the Lord of the Rings movies? It's like that. There's no tower with an eye at the top, but everything else is legit. So this is Marketing Speak, and I strongly encourage you guys to subscribe to both. They're on iTunes and Stitcher and all that. So subscribe to both, and please write a 5-star review. Thank you very much. So, if it's so simple, and a child can do it, how do we do it? Well, I don't have enough time to go over a book like this with you in class, but I will focus on one area specifically that I think will make a big impact for you. But first, let's take a moment to see what the big landscape looks like for SEO. Search engine optimization is all about content, architecture, and links. Those are the 3 pillars to SEO. Any one of those pillars is weak, and it's like sitting on a 2-legged stool. You're not going to be able to sit on it. All 3 pillars need to be strong. Content, that's where you have really compelling, keyword-rich content that adds value to the user. Architecture, you have a really compelling architecture to your site that is friendly to the search engines. WordPress is search engine friendly right out of the box. So that's a great platform. But over the history of IBM's WebSphere platform, it's been a disaster for SEO. So you had an e-commerce site running on WebSphere, and it needed a lot of work in order to be search engine optimal. So that's architecture. That includes all the technical geekery, but then there is links. And that's the hardest thing for folks to wrap their heads around because they don't have control over this. Links, where people link to your website and you don't own those websites, because if you did, then Google would know that, and they wouldn't count those links as if they were earned by merit. Because a link is essentially like a vote, but not all votes are created equal. Okay? A link from CNN.com is worth a heck of a lot more than a link from Jim Bob's personal homepage. So we're going to focus on links. How do we get people to link to us, and not just any old links, but links that are powerful, links that Google thinks are authoritative, trusted, and important. Okay, so that is the 3 pillars. Now, I see some of you taking notes, and that's awesome. I want to encourage you to do that. In fact, there is an Optimized Geek podcast episode all about writing with your left hand to access your right brain and do all this creative problem solving and amazing stuff. So sometime you might want to try left hand or non-dominant handwriting as a way to access your right brain. That's for another time. There's a statistic that goes something like this. If you have the intention to teach the content that you're learning to others, your retention rate goes from like 30-some% to over 90%. So think, who can I teach this to so that they're going to be able to excel in their life? Maybe it's a friend, or it's your significant other, or it's your mom or your dad or your sibling or a coworker or your boss or somebody who works for you. Think of somebody that if they learn this stuff, they could really excel in their lives, in their business, in their job, and your retention rate is going to go way up, because this stuff that I'm going to teach you is super valuable, and I'm not just blowing smoke. What I'm going to teach you, I get paid a lot of money to consult with companies like Chanel, like Sony, and I'm doing this for free, and I want you guys to get the maximum value out of this. This could change your life. Literally, this one session with me could change your lives. So take advantage of it. So that's one thing. And then when you're taking notes, really, some of you I see are typing, and that's fine, but it's not going to go into the same part of your brain as if you're taking notes by hand. So that's just another thing to consider. If you have a notebook with you, take the notes by hand. Your retention rate will go up by actually writing it out rather than typing it. Okay, so now I'm going to make it easy for you to not take notes, which is counterintuitive, but I will share my PowerPoint with you. If you send a text message to 33444, that's the short code, and the word that you're going to text is Googled, and you'll get this PowerPoint. But it's even an extended edition version of the PowerPoint. It has some extra notes in it to further explain some of the concepts. So that's pretty cool. Now, the title of this presentation was How to Be Remarkable Online to Get Authority in Google. What do I mean by remarkable? I mean it's worth remarking about. That's a definition of remarkable from Seth Godin. Anyone heard of Seth Godin? Okay, so he's a really amazing marketer, and he wrote a number of books about marketing, including The Purple Cow. He also wrote Unleash the Idea Virus. He wrote Permission Marketing. That was one of his earlier books. He's got dozens of books. Really smart guy. So he came up with this concept of the purple cow, wrote a book about it, and the idea is this. Let's say that you are driving down a country road, and you got the kids in the car, the spouse in the car, you're driving, and you see pastures, you see cows, and you're not really that interested, right? Nobody is. The kids are playing on their phones. So, keep driving, and then now you see a purple cow in the pasture. What? A purple cow? Stop the car, right? You get the kids out, you get the camera phone out, and you want to take video, you want to post it to Instagram, to Facebook, etc. Why? Because it's a purple cow. It's not the most interesting cow in the world. It's not the funniest cow. It's not the most useful cow or whatever, tastiest cow. It's purple cow. It's worth remarking about. Something about it's worth remarking about. It doesn't have to be the most interesting, most useful, most humorous, most controversial thing out there. It just has to have something about it that's worth remarking about. And that's what I'm going to teach you today, is to create content that's worth remarking about, that gets you lots of links and gets you to the top of Google. And most people don't understand how to do this. Who understands how to do this? Sites like BuzzFeed, Distractify, Viral Nova, Upworthy. Who's ever been to any of those sites? Yeah.
Who actually wants to go back?
Well, the thing that happens is you get sucked into a black hole, and you spent like 2 hours, but you don't even know what happened, right? Because it's addicting. Just like YouTube is addicting. Facebook is addicting. And that's one of the big problems today, and it's going to get 50 times worse. That's why a lot of us, a lot of you guys who choose the distraction path will end up jobless eventually. 50% of marketing jobs will not exist. And I forget how many years, is it 5 years? There's a recent study. Yeah, that's going to suck. We're all going to be replaced by robots eventually, but in the meantime, those of you who stay hungry and keep learning and keep applying the new stuff will have a really good job, maybe even a successful business, maybe a 7 or 8 figure income, who knows. So be remarkable and use hooks. And I already mentioned this briefly, but I'm going to reiterate it, is you want to add value. Because adding massive value with everything you do is just how you should operate in life. In business, in your marketing, and in life. So we're going to add massive value. We're going to use hooks. What kind of hooks? Well, viral hooks, like humor hooks, controversy hooks. We'll go through a little list in just a minute. Newsworthy hooks, etc. We're going to write a killer headline. Anyone heard of David Ogilvy? He was one of the advertising agency greats of the last century. He famously spent, when writing an ad, 80% of his time writing the headline. The remaining 20% on the whole rest of the ad, and that could be hundreds of words. 80% on the headline? I mean, that's amazing. So the headline is so critical, especially in these days when we just don't have a lot of time. We're just very, as internet users, trained to have short attention spans. Our attention spans are shorter than a goldfish these days. Literally, there's a study done. A goldfish's attention span is what, 9 seconds, I think? 12 seconds, something like that? Ours is a couple seconds less than that. Not good. So we got to appeal to these essentially goldfish on the internet and write killer headlines that they click, 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 click. What kind of headlines really work as far as driving the clicks? Ones that start with numbers. Numbered lists do really well. Here's an example, 22 fly items for the bird lover in your life. That's an actual BuzzFeed headline. That would be an excellent article for a company that sells bird feeding equipment and birding equipment. So you can go hang out in the forest and watch birds. Here's another actual, real BuzzFeed headline, men try on Spanx for the first time. Who wouldn't at least be a little bit intrigued to see what that article has, right? Yeah. Hooks and headlines. And then we're going to write for influencers. So we're writing not for our customers, but we're writing for influencers. The linkerati, that's who we're writing for. And that's really hard to get your heads around because we've been trained to write for our target audience. But now I'm challenging you, saying that your target audience isn't who you think. You can still keep writing the marketing collateral for your target audience, for your customers and prospects, but you now need to write viral content for the linkerati. and if you don't, you will suck wind in Google. More on that later. I said the headline must be killer. Let me back that up with real data. This is a study done by Conductor and written up on moz.com. It's a great site for SEO information, moz.com. Look at this, number-based headlines outperform by far the other headline types. And look at the worst performer, question-based headlines. Who's written a question-based headline, like for a blog post or an article? Right? It's easy to do, but the problem is that it's going to suck wind most of the time. The next highest performers after number-based headlines, reader addressing, meaning using the word you or your in the headline. And then how-to-based headlines after that, and so forth. Let's see some remarkable content. Like this one. Tiny hamsters eating tiny burritos. Who wants to see that video? Yeah, right. We're not going to see it. Who's seen that video? Yeah, oh yeah, right. Okay, so I know who's easily distracted now. Squirrel! That got 8 million views, by the way, that one video. They have a whole series of hamster videos because they did so well with that first one. This guy on the right is Steve Spangler. Anyone recognize him? Who watches The Ellen Show? Anyone watch The Ellen Show? Okay. He's been on The Ellen Show over a dozen times. He's the guy who came up with the Diet Coke Mentos experiment. It went crazy viral, and then there were all these copycats, and then one of them, Eepy Bird, created this amazing Diet Coke Mentos experiment, which looked like at Bellagio fountains and had like 200 2-liter bottles of Diet Coke. And by the way, do you know why it's Diet Coke and not Coke? Any idea? Because Coke has got sugar in it, it's sticky. It's messy. Diet Coke is easy to clean up. So he figured that out. They both work, but Diet Coke is a much more pleasant outcome as far as the cleanup process. So he came up with the experiment, but then Eepy Bird just basically kind of hijacked it and got crazy viral views on their video. And he's like, hey, wait, what about me? He had an initial viral video, like soaking a news anchor with the Diet Coke, and that got millions of views, but Eepy Bird got hundreds of millions of views.
Stephan, can I just stop you for a second here?
Yeah.
Who gets the authority on this?
YouTube does, because when...
Yeah, so YouTube gets the authority, but
Right.
let's say that you're this guy, do you want YouTube to get the authority? Don't you want to get the authority?
It's a means to an end. Just like if you are an influencer on, let's say, Facebook, and you push out some viral piece of content, and let's say that most of the time that content isn't even yours, but once in a while it is yours, and then a lot of bloggers pay attention and they link to your stuff, as well as the other stuff that you push out. So it's only self-serving some of the time, but most of the time it's not. And you get a ton of links. Because when people link, this is just, YouTube's a social network. It's a video sharing site, it's a social network. There's commenting, there's video replies, there's favorites, there's likes, dislikes, right? It's a social network.
They used to hate for you to put a link, as you know, in YouTube.
Well, the links are no followed, meaning they don't
Because
pass
they're no
page
follow,
rank.
Yeah.
They don't actually pass that authority. So
That's what I'm saying is that, so then what is, let's say you
it's a means to an end. You get visibility in a large social community, and hopefully some of those people are influencers, and they say, wow, that's cool, I'm going to write about it. I'm going to write a blog post.
But will they write, I guess that's what I'm saying, is that you're hoping that they write the blog post about you, not YouTube.
And sometimes it's one or the other or both, and you can't control that, but you can do some things that will help increase the odds, like create a microsite, which I'll show you an example of in a little bit. So Steve Spangler has really crushed it on YouTube, and he's got a lot of SEO benefit from that, most of it indirect. He's got over 180 million views on YouTube. That's pretty impressive. He's been on, as I said, The Ellen Show over a dozen times. He's He's a 2-time Emmy award winner. He's had a TV news show for kids. He's the next Bill Nye.
Is he
I
actually a
worked
scientist
with-
at all?
Yeah, he's an actual scientist,
Okay.
an educator. He's also in the National Speakers Association Hall of Fame. He's quite the Renaissance man. He's been a client for over a decade, or he was a client. He was with my agency that I sold in 2010. Okay, so this is another example of a YouTube video that did really well for the company. And in fact, this is a product video for vat19.com. That's the company. Across all of their product videos, they have 480 million views for product videos. That's like mind-blowing. YouTube made that business. Really did. They have really remarkable products, but the videos are amazingly, mind-blowingly awesome. They have a 25-pound gummy bear. That's a pretty cool product. That's a remarkable product. But then they created this amazing music video that's actually quite catchy and awesome. You'll love it. Tens of millions of views, and yeah, they're crushing it. I actually co-presented with the founder of VAT19 at an internet retailer conference a couple years ago. That's vat19.com. I mentioned hooks. What are the hooks? Well, there's the utility hook, the controversy hook, newsworthy hook, of course the humor hook. But you don't have to be humorous, you don't have to be controversial or contentious to have something that has viral potential. And remember, this is a means to an end. We are going to go viral so that we get not just views, not just eyeballs, but links. You could also conduct or commission original research. You could Creative Commons license some content. Right? So what could you Creative Commons license? Creative Commons means that some rights are reserved, not all rights reserved. You're giving them the ability to republish your content, for example, or remix it, reuse it for commercial or non-commercial purposes, depending on the kind of license you give, with attribution or without attribution required. My recommendation, require attribution. A lot of times you'll get links from that. They may just say, they may only mention your name or the name of your website and not make it a link, but a lot of times it will be a link. So Creative Commons license. Let's say you're in the front row of a concert. You got your phone with you, and you take video, and you upload it. But the thing that you do that's different, that everybody else doesn't do, who's also in the front row, is you Creative Commons license it. You say anybody can use it, republish it, whatever you want, as long as I get attribution. That's smart, right? Who's ever gotten more than, say, 10,000 views on the YouTube video? All right. So we got some work to do, right? But you can totally nail it. You can achieve this. All right, so, let me talk to you about memes for a moment. And free software. So what do I mean by free software? Like Chrome extensions, WordPress plugins. I created a WordPress plugin years ago for SEO and got a ton of links for that. It was the most successful link building campaign that I had ever done, or my company had ever done, for ourselves, for our own company, for Net Concepts. And yeah, did you have a question?
Yeah, when people share a video on social networks, does that count as links?
No. It's not until bloggers and website owners write a blog post or add a link, add something to their sidebar, to their blog roll or whatever, then it counts as a link. Because links that are in a YouTube video's description are no follow, they're not passing any link authority. Yeah, good question. So starting a meme, what is a meme? Who can define a meme for me? Anyone? This is audience participation time, come on. Yeah.
It's just repurposing the already existing
Yep. Yeah, that's a great example of a meme. There are different kinds of memes. There are even memes in the real world, but one of the most popular types of memes online is where there's a picture, a certain picture that has gone viral with a funny caption to go with it. Yep. Great. What's another example of a meme? A different kind of a meme? Anyone? Bueller? Bueller? I'm dating myself, aren't I? Yeah.
Rage comics like use some stick figures to create comical or humor joke.
Oh, right, like KXCD, yeah.
Like a boss or another.
Yep, yeah. Another example. How about an offline meme? Anyone have an example of an offline meme? Not in the online world, but it's in the real world. No? Okay, give me another example of an online meme. Anyone? Okay, so let me give you an awesome definition of a meme. This I got from a world expert on memes who's a university professor. Not this guy. A lady who defines memes as the following: a copy me instruction backed up by threats and or promises. It's a copy me instruction backed up by threats and or promises. Let me give you a real world example. Who's been to a hotel? Yes, all of us, right? In the bathroom of your hotel room, what do they do to the toilet roll? The toilet paper, what do they do with that? Fold it into a triangle. Why? Does that make the bathroom cleaner? No. But it is a copy me instruction. Somebody started that one day. Maybe it was a maid, maybe it was a hotel manager, had this idea. And then other maids, other hotel managers went to that hotel, saw that they were doing that, like, we should do that. Because the promise, so it's a copy me instruction backed up by a promise of a cleaner bathroom. Well, you'll still see pubic hair if you look real close on the floor, but it feels cleaner because of that toilet roll, right? I know, that's pretty gross, but it's real. Isn't that how it really is in the hotels? So that's an example of a real world meme. How about in the online world, the early days? Do you guys remember email chain letters back in the day? Right? Forward this to 15 friends in the next 30 minutes or you will have 7 years of bad luck. So that was a threat that was backed up by a threat and a copy me instruction, right? Copy me instruction backed up by threats and or promises. So you could create a meme or you could ride on the coattails of an existing meme. One of my favorite memes out there these days, well, why don't you guys share what are your favorite memes? Give me an example of a meme that you guys really enjoy. All right, I'm getting crickets here. Come on. I'm going to make you guys do another breathing exercise.
Like the Dos Equis guy.
Yes.
I don't always.
The most interesting man in the world. Do you know how old that guy is? 78. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm 45, I don't look it. He's 78, he doesn't look it. It's pretty amazing. Come on, Internet. So that's one example. Who's got another example? What's with the internet here? This is like a legit university.
Yeah. I'll catch one on the guest access, that's why.
Yeah, where everybody is like
Really.
streaming and
Well, that's why you have to go in now. That's why you can't even get to Google. It's crazy.
so of course All right, so the most interesting man in the world, we may get to see him at some point if the internet comes back. And
While you're doing that, why don't I'll get on the other computer.
all right. Yeah, let's switch to this one and then we can pull it up.
Well, go ahead, and I'll see if I can keep this working.
Who's got another example of a meme? Most interesting man in the world, that's a great one.
They did a lot of interesting memes around Deadpool in their marketing.
Yeah. Good example. So there's Success Kid. I think, what was it, Virgin Airlines might have used Success Kid in a billboard campaign, in fact. There's Foul Bachelor Frog, Insanity Wolf, First World Problems. You know, that lady was crying and... Oh, cool. All right.
We'll just go through this sequence and then we'll push this up.
All right. Oh, we got Google. Most interesting. Let's see if this works.
We'll try this too.
All right, we're back online. Yay.
And I'll give you this one too.
There he is from the Dos Equis commercial. Went viral, and you notice this is a meme generator site where you can create your own meme. Just pick the image that you want, like this guy, and then add your own caption. And if it's really a great one, really funny or whatever, and it might bubble up to the top and get a lot of views. But then how do you leverage that? How do you actually get benefit personally or professionally from doing that? Most people don't know how to do that. So let's have a quick look at a few examples. I don't always accidentally, but when I do, I accidentally the whole thing. And I don't always eat out, but when I do, I don't know, it wasn't even funny. I don't always see a handsome guy, but when I do, it's in the mirror. This is one of my favorite memes. It's an unintentional one that went crazy viral. There's this older guy who posted to Reddit, I think it was, a picture of his wife as a child, like as a early teenager or something. Who's seen this before? You know what I'm talking about? Anyone? Check this out. And of course, BuzzFeed wrote about it. You know, BuzzFeed is worth over $1 billion. Crazy. It's sad. No, it's just a sign of the times. So this poor guy. Oh, this is sad. Yeah.
No. BuzzFeed being worth $1 billion is sad.
All right. Well, you're going to be left in the dust. This is pretty funny, right? This is she looks like an old granny, and the internet had a lot of fun with this one. Sits out of gym class, arthritis. Rides bike down the street, blinker on the entire time. Gets a dollhouse for her birthday, covers all the furniture in plastic. Orders from the kids menu, gets senior discount. Falls on the playground, can't get up, right? So that's kind of mean, but it's all in fun. So that's memes. How can you take advantage of memes with your online marketing? And remember, the point here is we want links. Yeah, social shares and retweets and all that, that's nice. But the ultimate end game is we want links so that we rank at the top of Google. Then we have these different formats. Infographics, personality tests, and quizzes, and checklists, and worksheets, and how-tos, and buyer's guides. Even podcasts. Podcasts are hot these days. Been around for a long time. Contests. I used podcast and a contest, or actually, my fiance's got a podcast launch she's just doing, and she's using a contest to promote the podcast. You can use a contest in conjunction with any kind of launch, a book launch, some sort of webinar promotion or podcast promotion campaign. You want to get people to enter, and more importantly, to share it with their friends. So there are contests where you get way more points by sharing it with your friends, and then your friends enter the contest. There's a tool called Contest Domination that has that all automated for you. Apps, both mobile apps and Facebook apps. Let's look at a couple of infographic examples to start. And remember too that you get some success with one format, and you can then propagate it out to other formats. You write a listicle, a top 10 list sort of article, like the birding one that I gave as an example earlier on, and you get some success with it. Then you can turn that into a SlideShare deck and post it to SlideShare. You could turn it into a viral video. You could turn it into a personality test or quiz. So here's an example of a great, this is one of my favorite infographics. It's the difference between geeks and nerds. Who knows the differences? Yeah, it's like geek, nerd, dork, dweeb, hipster. I don't know the difference between all of them. I know a few differences. Like, for example, geeks are early adopters. They love gadgets. But a nerd, they're more socially awkward. I mean, this is really accentuated that they don't know how to dress right. Like, they might have a bow tie and a pocket protector, but they just are kind of socially awkward. They might be a PC user, whereas a geek is more of a Mac user. Most of you are Mac users. Good job. So let's say you have some success with that. You could turn that into a fun quiz. You could turn it into a viral video. Right? So just always look for other opportunities to repackage and repurpose. Here's an example that didn't quite do it. It was a great concept. They could have really crushed it, and it's just not that engaging. It's duotone. It's very flat. It's got a lot of text. It's kind of boring looking, but the concept is killer. The idea behind it is there are different hand gestures that in different parts of the world will get you potentially shot. This is not like a thumbs up. This is an up yours. Okay, that's not nice in certain places. This is very vulgar in certain places in the world. So you can learn about this with this infographic. That's kind of cool. If they did a better job with it, they would have gotten way more play, and they could have repackaged that same concept in different formats. They could have, for example, created a viral video. How would they have done it? Cheaply? There's a site called Fiverr. Who's heard of Fiverr? Fiverr.com. For $5, you can get people to do all sorts of crazy things or useful things, like they'll design a book cover for you for $5. They'll transcribe a bunch of text for $5. They'll maybe even shave their head for $5 on video or whatever, crazy stuff. So you could get all these people in different parts of the world to video themselves doing these different hand gestures and see the effect on the people around them. Get these back. Maybe some of them suck. Some of them are mediocre, decent, but some are really funny. You take the best ones and you compile that into a viral video, add some funny, cute soundtrack to it. Now you got yourself a viral video. Maybe with a bit of explainer video to go with it, explaining like this does not mean what you think it does, and then they cut to the B-roll, which is from all these Fiverr people. Clever, right? I just made that up. But these guys didn't leverage the concept. A personality tester quiz, where you basically have to guess the right answers to questions like, which part of the world is this okay to use or not okay, and would I get shot? The would I get shot quiz. We could create widgets, we could create badges, awards, we can do personality tests or quizzes. We could combine some of these, and let me show you an example where this is a personality test plus a badge in one campaign. Who's seen this before? Yep, this is pretty fun. How many 5-year-olds could you take on in a fight? Take the quiz. I took the quiz, and I'm proud to say that I could take on 15. And what was my secret? Well, I'm willing to pick up one 5-year-old and use him as a weapon against the others. And then the next fun quiz for you to take is, what would your body taste like to a cannibal? Who wants to take that one, right? Spoiler alert, tastes like chicken. Microsites. Now, here's getting to your professor's question around how do I leverage the value I get from all these viral views on YouTube. Well, let's say that you are this guy. Oh, no. I'll do this one now. Okay. I'll come back to, let me just do this because I don't want to go out of order. This is awesome. This is a fake website. It's not real. You cannot buy this shirt. The idea is it's a push-up muscle shirt, takes your flab and puts it in muscular-looking positions. And here's what happens. After about 10 seconds on the site. Recognize that guy?
Yes, it's me. I'm sorry we had to meet like this.
Yeah, it goes on. He gives you a really hard time for trying to buy a push-up muscle shirt. This is a fake website sponsored by Old Spice. Genius, absolutely genius. And the reason it works is because it's not obvious that it's Old Spice until you're well into it. If they had put this on the Old Spice website, it wouldn't have worked. You would have given it away. Here's another microsite, Gazoogle, where you can put in a URL and it'll turn the page into JiveSpeak. Yes, very inappropriate. I won't be reading any of this copy, but I just took an example web page and turned it into JiveSpeak. Yes?
Would you say this works for certain industries?
It works for all industries.
How would that work for, like, let's say Chanel or something?
Well, Chanel is very risk averse and protective of their brand, so they wouldn't do this. But let's say that you sell toilet seats or toilet lids, right? So something really boring. What could you create that would be viral, that would get you lots of links so that your whole website would rank higher in Google? Not just the article, not just the blog post, not just the video or infographic, but the entire website would benefit. It's the rising tide that lifts all boats. That's an important concept. Your whole site will benefit because a ton of links are coming in to this one article on your site. So what could you create that would go viral, get you lots of links if you sell toilet seat lids? How about the 50 craziest urinals from around the world? Right, you got a number, you got a provocative or evocative adjective, you got your keyword-rich phrase, great headline, follows the formula, it's a numbered list, it's a listicle. There you go. And how much work is it? You're not going to be flying around the world to create this blog post. Where are you going to go? You're going to go on Google Images, you're going to go on Flickr, you're going to go on Creative Commons search. You're going to type in the word urinal. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. It's an hour searching, compiling, creating a blog post, you're done. Then you got to seed it into social media to get it really going viral. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But that's a way to take a very boring company that sells really boring plumbing supplies and create viral content. Now, if you are more risk averse, then you have to be more creative about what you do. Caterpillar, which makes huge earth-moving equipment, is pretty risk averse. but they're not so risk averse that they're willing to create something that is remarkable. It's just not edgy remarkable. So they created a, let me see if I can find it for you. Yeah, isn't that awesome? I love that. Okay, so they created a massive Jenga game. Come on, Internet. And they had to use earth-moving equipment to move the blocks.
If you want to use the other, try it in there, see if you can bring it up. If you can, then we'll just push the screen over.
Okay. It looks like you didn't log in yet, though, on this computer.
I did.
Oh, it logged you out, though?
Let me see.
Please choose how, oh, or is that for email? No, I don't think you logged in.
No, I'm fine. This is good. What did you want to search for? Just search right there.
Okay.
This will just be a faster way to do it.
Caterpillar, Jenga. Okay. we can
Okay,
switch
so
it.
let's see this over here. I'm pushing this. That'll push this over.
Okay,
And if you want to go back to the left, just
got it.
it's on one side.
Welcome to K-Tech Earth Movers. K-Tech builds industry-leading heavy-duty scrapers.
Not edgy at all.
If you were really determined to build a huge structure out of Jenga blocks, you could clear out store shelves or do what
But this
authorities
isn't-
at Caterpillar did and utilize.
That's not the actual video that has the millions of views. That's one of their kind of promotional videos about the video that got millions of views. I'm like, why are these search results so sucky? Oh, it's because it's Yahoo. You really need to reconfigure your browser.
Not my problem. It's the person.
Okay, so cat Jenga game. Oh yeah, right. Not that cat Jenga game, like Caterpillar. Let me change. Yeah, there we go. Oh, hello, 3,300,000 views for a really boring earth-moving equipment company. Not bad. And then they did blog posts about it, and they did all this stuff to further leverage the success of that viral video so that they did get links. Not just to the video, but the, oh, you got both up here. Oh. Not just to the video, but to the website. To their website. All right, so now, back to the, so this would not have been successful nearly as much if they just put it as a page in their blog somewhere, right? Having a separate microsite made a lot of sense. Usually it doesn't make sense. From an SEO perspective, you create another separate website and you start a marketing campaign there. It's a bad idea because you're splitting up your authority. You're starting fresh on a new domain that doesn't have a track record, doesn't have history to it, doesn't have authority, and you're expecting some great results. Well, in most cases it'll suck unless you have an amazing campaign that deserves viral spread globally. Here's another example I'll show you. Oh, by the way, a couple other examples of dialectizers. So that was the Jive one. It's called Gazoogle. There's a dialectizer that does Swedish Chef, Pig Latin, and Redneck Speak. That's a lot of fun. Here we have a microsite where this guy, this college kid, during the summer, interned at Perfetti Van Melde, the makers of Mentos, and his whole job was to sit in front of their webcam all day, all summer. That's it. They made a site specifically for him called mentosintern.com, and you could even give him work. Like, hey, can you fill out this spreadsheet for me? That's what he's got nothing else to do, right? You could chat with him. There was a whole chat room and everything. And he had all these loyal visitors, and it became quite the sensation. Then he went back to college, and you know what they did, though, that was really dumb? This was very clever until the campaign finished. They shut it down. They didn't redirect the site to their main site, to the Mentos.com. No. They just pulled the plug. Stupid. This is how to avoid getting snookered into buying a counterfeit Mini Cooper. This is not a Mini Cooper. Guess who is behind this website? Mini, yeah. Okay, who is the person who said Mini Cooper? You get a book. Yay, thanks for participating. See what happens when you speak up? You get stuff. Okay, so some viral...
I had a question about.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry. So if BuzzFeed does a content about like 14 gadgets that are like great for the kitchen, and then when they post a gadget, they would post like a link to the website where you can get the gadget. Would that be kind of like a super easy way to like put links and then get links back? Is it something that
Potentially. It's not... You're probably going to get way more links by seeding that post into social media. So let's say it's essentially you're just curating other people's content, and that works really well. I gave that example of 50 craziest urinals from around the world. Somebody actually did do a blog post on that, and I'm sure there are other posts similar to that. You don't have to put a lot of work in, and you create something that is curated, that people don't have to do all the hard work to find all these great, in this case, kitchen type videos. So the next thing is you need to get that video, or I mean that blog post about all those videos and about that kind of compilation out there. So we're going to talk about how to do that using power users in just a few minutes. So let's have a quick look at some viral video campaigns that did really well. You guys know who this is? You know what this idea is of blending crazy stuff? Yeah. Believe that you saw some videos in this class.
Yeah.
So that's Tom Dixon. You know how this started, though? The way it started was George Wright, the marketing director at Blendtec, was walking past the testing room one day. Tom Dixon, the founder, loves to really test the heck out of these blenders with 2x4s and stuff, trying to break them. So there's sawdust everywhere. And he's just thinking, we should video this. And so they did. They spent a tiny bit of money, probably less than $100 for, they videoed it themselves. The various equipment and things that they got, like they bought rake handles and things like that to golf club and stuff like that. And it started really taking off. So then they invested a bit more, and then they started blending crazier stuff like an iPod. And the rest is history. Their business is completely transformed because of that little idea. Blendtec is a household name now. It literally reinvented their company. And you notice that was a microsite, so that was a very clever way to leverage all those videos that are going viral on YouTube. You're encouraging people to, like journalists and bloggers, to link to the microsite, which they set up at willitblend.com. Sure, they could have put it on blendtec.com/blenders/viral videos or something like that. But instead, they created a separate microsite, willitblend.com. They promoted that. And journalists and bloggers who want to write about this phenomenon of blending all these crazy things, marbles and action figures, like Chuck Norris action figures, and light bulbs and golf clubs, etc. They'd want to link to a site that has all of the videos. That's perfect, right? Microsite, great execution there. This is an example of a combination. Yeah.
So does the Blender website get credit for that, since it was all the links were going to the microsite?
the videos get views. So this is a little bit of a kind of a virtuous cycle here. What happens is you get more views on YouTube because people are clicking play on the microsite. So instead of having those videos be like Wistia or Vimeo videos, they're YouTube videos. Every view counts and boosts the reputation of that video on YouTube. And the fact that there's a separate microsite that people can link to and is easy and is really appealing for journalists means they're going to get the credit instead of just the journalist linking to their channel page on YouTube, which they still could do, and they probably will still link to a video, maybe embed a video as an example, but we really want them to also link to willatblend.com because that's a site that they own that they can then link off to their various BlendTech video, to their product pages and main homepage, etc.
So that's the key. It's really they own the website, Will Blend, so that they can then go ahead and link to the homepage of BlendTech.
Exactly. In many cases, it's going to be better to have that piece of content that's remarkable sitting on your main site, though. Why? Because let's say you're a plumbing company and you do that 50 urinals post, you put it on a separate domain, it doesn't get nearly the authority. Yeah, you can link back to your plumbing site, but if it's on the plumbing site already, the whole site benefits. It's the rising tide that lifts all boats. So here's an example of a combination of a contest and viral videos. They leveraged the power users who participated in the contest very cleverly. This could work with Facebook as well as YouTube. And the way they did it is, by the way, who knows what Intuit is? Intuit? Yeah. So one of their divisions, the TurboTax division, came up with this contest idea. It's a viral video competition. You create a viral video, but there were two hooks that were really what made the difference. One hook was it was a rap music video competition. You had to rap about doing your taxes. Cognitive dissonance, right? A little counterintuitive. So that was one great hook, but then the other hook that really made the difference, their MC. They had a contest MC, and who would make a really good MC for a rap music video competition? Ideas? Snoop? LL Cool J? Okay. Who would be kind of counterintuitive? Keep on the same idea, but go a little bit more surprising. Morgan Freeman. No, stay with the rappers.
Eminem?
Who?
Eminem?
Eminem.
LEG.
Now you're getting closer. Who's somebody you never hear from anymore?
Vanilla Ice.
Vanilla Ice.
That was it?
Yep. Yeah. So you get a book. You get a book. Isn't that funny? Like, how clever is that? And he was so cheap. They bought an hour of his time. They wouldn't tell me exactly how much, but it was super cheap. What they did is they flew their videographers down to his home in Florida, bought an hour of his time, and he was having so much fun he gave an extra hour for free. They were just videoing him announcing the contest, announcing the winner, even though they didn't know who the winner was going to be, and then they stitched that little video of him announcing the winner to the winning entry. The prize money was really impressive, $25,000 for the grand prize. First prize was $5,000, and then second prize was $1,000. Not bad. But that's not what made it viral. Vanilla Ice made it viral. They really leveraged him. They hardly used him at all as far as his time and involvement. They just got 2 hours of his time, and they got him to call the winner and congratulate them, and they recorded the audio of that congratulations phone call. Clever.
Hey, we just got 5 more minutes.
Okay. All right, thanks. So now you've got that remarkable content. Now what? Well, we got to engage a power user, or multiple ones. So we got a power user who's going to seed this remarkable content into their social channels. Power user on Facebook, for example, or StumbleUpon, or Reddit. I have a power user on Reddit who's so powerful she's in the Century Club, meaning she has over 100,000 link karma points. She's a major influencer on Reddit. Reddit is essentially the front page of the internet. It's one of the most popular sites on the planet. So there's more detail on how to engage power users and leverage them, but essentially you're just paying them. You have somebody in your hip pocket that you pay $500 a post to, and they're pushing your stuff out if it's remarkable and worthy. Why wouldn't you do this yourself? Because you don't have that kind of reach. You don't have that kind of influence. You don't have that street cred. So here's some examples of really compelling campaigns that did fantastic because of power users. This is a past client of mine called Numi, a directory of life coaches, and they came up with an advent calendar under my guidance. Who knows what an advent calendar is? Yeah? Yeah. So what is it?
So it's the a calendar for the Christmas month. You open one box every day before the Christmas day.
Yeah.
And it got little surprise every day.
Yeah, like a chocolate. So how about you flip it around and it's an advent calendar where you give something every day. Like you call a friend who you haven't talked to for over 5 years. All these different challenges each day of Advent. Cool idea, right? But notice it's really small number here. The number of stumbles, it's like 20,000. So they, and that was all from one power user, most of it, and they did a little bit of StumbleUpon advertising, which is a secret weapon, by the way. StumbleUpon advertising is one of the cheapest ways to advertise because it's not being really beaten to death like Facebook advertising is these days. So StumbleUpon, that really crushed it for them, having the right power user in StumbleUpon. Here's another example. This was an article on lifeinsure.com. 19 things you probably didn't know about death. First item, after being decapitated, you're still conscious for an additional 15 to 20 seconds. Who's going to buy life insurance after reading that creepy article? Nobody. But it wasn't for their customers. And here's the thing, you're writing for the linkerati, you're writing for the influencers. Your target audience is completely separate for this content marketing for SEO. So this got onto the front page of Dig, which at the time was as popular as Reddit. Well, Dig was a major site then that was more popular than Reddit. And it got a ton of links. And what happened to the company that was this tiny little brokerage with fewer than a dozen employees? Page 1 in Google, Bing, and Yahoo for life insurance. Right up there with MetLife, Geico, State Farm. Boom. Here's a campaign that I came up with for a client, overnightprints.com. They print business cards, letterhead, stationery, overnight, ship it next day air. Win free business cards for life contest. Sounds pretty amazing, right? But it's actually peanuts when you look at the cost because it's up to 1,000 business cards per year for up to 20 years. I think I have enough money in my wallet to cover that. But the thing that made it so amazing was I had a hook and I had a power user and they were one and the same. Here's my hook and my power user. His name is Jeremy Shoemaker. Major influencer, big internet celebrity. His nickname is Shoe Money. And here's the winning entry. It looks like a credit card. Flip it over, and it's even got the little white stripe with his signature. It looks like there's a chip on it. It's so cool. It's a badass business card. And here's what my client got. They went from nowhere in Google to number 2 for business cards. Boom. So now you got to build a link outreach machine, which I can point you to this article to learn more about because we don't really have time for that. But the idea here is that you're going to use a tool such as this one, Pitchbox, which would allow you to outreach to a whole lot of influencers, not just the 1 or 2 that you have in your hip pocket. And you tell them, about your thing, but you do it in a way that adds value to them first. Like let's say that you write for marketing profs, and you're coming up with an article idea for like the best marketing examples in plumbing or something like that. And you're contacting these influencers in that space. You are getting a quote from them or a tip, and you're going to link to them. That's a great value add for them. It's a great way to start the relationship, and then hopefully you'll end up with links from that. So I'm going to close it out with that. These are just some more screenshots. And here's my give for you, because you guys have been so attentive. I'm going to give all of you a digital copy of one of my 3 books. All of you, if you just send an email to my assistant, and it's that email right there, admin@stephanspencer.com. Sure, you can email me, but either way, it's still going to go to my assistant. admin@stephanspencer.com. Say that you want the book, and we'll send you a link to download a free copy.
Thank you so much. All right, everybody, I'll see you guys on Wednesday.
I know you're a very busy man. I was wondering if you can ask you to be my mentor so I can have like talk to you in 10 minutes once and your advice if it's possible.
You don't ask, you don't get. So that's I applaud you.
He told me a week ago.
I'm pretty busy. Yes. I'll tell you what. I'll do that with you for 3 months. We'll see how it goes.
Okay, perfect.
But you got to be super hungry, and you have to like make a lot of
that's
stuff.
why I came back, because there was a part that I missed. I went to the team and I missed, so I went back to make sure. Thank you so much.
All right. So it's up to you to reach out to me and make it happen.
I see. Right.
Hi.
A question about one of your slides. You mentioned before that when you write content, to make sure that it's more for the influencers as opposed to your target audience. So what exactly would be the differences?
Well, let's say that you're that life insurance company, that brokerage. That's not for your customers. 19 things you didn't know about death. Nobody buy life insurance after reading that. So they didn't even link to that from their own website. They just pushed it out through these power users.
And so like.
So completely different. Like you write a life insurance article for your customer base, and you say stuff like, "These are the types of life insurance policies: whole life, universal, etc. Term. Here are the benefits and the risks and the downsides of each one." And you're like, "Oh, that's useful. That's not viral."
So the influencers, they may or may not share it, but they would link it back to...
If they share it, because the idea is you want to reach a lot more influencers through that power user. So you're going to do 2 things. You're going to do this power user who you pay, and they're going to do an outreach. They're just going to post it to their news feed, their Twitter, etc. Hopefully that'll pick up a bunch of other people who say, "Oh, that's really cool," and they blog about it. And use a tool like Pitchbox. You can say, "All right, I'm going to target people who have this level of influence, maybe a high clout score, high Moz rank score, and who are in this topic area." And these are people you never outreach to. They don't know who you are from Adam. And you're going to try to build rapport and relationship with them before you get stuff from them, because it's just rude to say, "Hey, I really like your site, and I'd love for you to share this with your audience."
Yeah.
It's like, delete. So you're going to do this 2-pronged approach. Does that make sense?
No, totally.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you bet.
All right. Take care.
Hey.
I enjoyed the
Great
presentation. You're kind of talking about your daughter and kind of how she with the website, how she was kind of making the money. I was just curious a little bit more about kind of, I guess, getting the ad revenue or getting kind of that process or how.
So you sign up for Google AdSense.
Yep.
And then you have a website that hopefully is valuable and ranks in Google, and then you monetize that by just putting ad units on your pages, and then when people click on the ads, that accumulates money in your AdSense account, and then they like direct deposit or send you a check if you prefer.
I know you were mentioning WordPress. So a while back I started it was on Google Blogspot.
Okay.
I know that's
bad
well,
idea. At least you didn't have an earthlink.net email address in your business card.
Yeah. Are there ways to kind of transfer?
Nope.
No.
You're screwed.
I just made the wrong choice from the early stages. Okay.
Yeah. The best you can do. So okay. So you could move all the content over, or you could just link from all your old blog posts to your new site.
Right.
But they both suck as far as options.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
All right. Well, no, I enjoyed this. So
Great.
I'll definitely be sending you.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet.